Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Zombies 2. This is, of course, a sequel to Zombies. This is a Disney Channel original film series. It's from 2020, yeah. So this was came out. This was filmed before the pandemic and came out while we were all locked up, probably. And yeah, this is it's an hour and 26 minutes long. And of course, if you already know the Zombies films, and in case you don't, I'm going to tell you what it is. This is another series of Disney produced song and dance romance, teen comedy kind of things. Like High School Musical, I want to say, is kind of the thing that started it all, I think. I could be completely wrong, but I mean, the one that at least created modern day powerhouse teen just musical extravaganzas that were humongously popular with the kids. And yes, I sound like an old man when I say the kids. But after that, I think Descendants might have been the next big thing. There was other ones like Teen Beach. There was two of those movies, and I actually saw the sequel. I still haven't seen the original yet, but I really liked Teen Beach. That was Teen Beach 2. That was one of the first 10 of these episodes I did way, way, way back when. And about a year and a half ago, back in April 2021, I just checked. That's the first time I saw the original Zombies film, and I honestly cannot remember what I said about it. More than likely, everything I'm about to say about this as well, because it's in the same mold. I don't think they strayed too far. They just added new wrinkle to it. Again, if you don't know, this is a very thinly veiled metaphor for teens hashing it out when it comes to racism, classism, cultural divides, and all sorts of things. It's somehow, okay, well, I won't say somehow, there is an actual explanation. It makes no sense, but it's just silly, goofy things to a way to show how the zombies were made, as they explained in the first film. Apparently there was some sort of like chemical or rock or some energy that existed, and it mixed with lime soda, and then people who drank it or bathed in, I don't know what they were doing, whatever it is, they became zombies. So there is no like virus or brain manipulation or whatever else excuse we get for zombies in the regular horror genre. While there is an element of brain eating and monsterism, where they lose control and their eyes turn all crazy and their skin gets all, there's no rotting flesh and parts coming off and stuff like that. It's nothing gross. This is definitely for kids. This is honestly going to be kids who are going to be preteen. They're going to be tweens, I guess, whatever age range that is. It's going to be like 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of age. And if they like song and dance and all that kind of stuff, and just really upbeat pop tunes and beautiful people just dancing around to it all in synchronicity, yeah, this is definitely for them. This is not made for me. No, this is, and that's all right. It's one of the things I think a lot of people have to get their head around when it comes to anything, any form of entertainment that comes out there. If you don't like it, it doesn't mean that it's broken or that it's bad necessarily. It could be, but it doesn't mean that it is. It means that it wasn't made for you, or if you have no like or desire to see it. And you know what? That's okay. Even if it's like a new Star Wars or a Star Trek or a Lord of the Rings or whatever it is, who cares? You know what? Let other people have their joy. Enjoy the thing they love. And this, again, not made for me. I can see its appeal. It's upbeat. It's so full of monster and zombie puns, and it's very goofy humor. And the kid, I want to say kids, they're probably adults who will look like teenagers, but they're game for this. And this is their, more than likely, their ticket to bigger things. The guy who plays Milo Zed, his Milo Manheim. He is he's like a to me is like a younger Zachary Levi in his kind of charm, where he's he's not the kind of guy you would necessarily always see as the you know, I don't know, like they always try to make up the boys to be the sexy leads, and the Robert Pattinsons of Twilight when we're talking about monsters and stuff like that, monster movies for kids or girls or whoever wants to like these things. Boys can like this too, obviously. Anybody can like these, but it's the kind of thing where he doesn't. He's unassuming. He's a nice guy. He looks like a good, clean cut kid who just, yeah, he's gonna get the pretty girl played by Meg Donnelly. She's Addison, and she's a cheerleader, and of course that just lends itself to singing and dancing. And of course, there's cartoonish villains. Oh, by the way, also the girl lead has a best friend of color, which it seems like it's required. Like in a lot of these things, if you don't have a lead of color, they're going to have a sidekick or a best friend of color, because diversity is important. And well, it's really, really obvious sometimes in their casting. Not that she's not talented or anything else. Everybody joins in the dancing and the singing and everything else, and they're all very talented. But then we get to the bad guys, which of course it's always the elite, pretty snobs who put down our heroes for whatever reason they choose, even if it's someone that they expect to be one of them, like Addison. At this point, spoiler for zombies, but at this point, her and Zed are dating. That's the term for dating. I'm a ASL linguist here. No, they are dating, and so I hate to make these obvious things. It's like an interracial kind of thing where it's so new and forbidden, and there's they try to segregate these classes of people in the first film, and by the end of the first film they brought those communities together. And yeah, this is more of a classist thing than, say, a racist metaphor. It is very much rich against poor, because whenever you see the humans at their very rich, nice, shiny, clean school, everything is so white and so pink and so pastel. It's very pretty, and color plays a big part in these films. As you can see here, there's not such a thing as a subtle color, even in a pastel. By the way, I forget why she colored her hair. She doesn't color her hair anymore. I guess they thought she was a zombie at one point. Or was she a zombie? I don't know. Whatever. Uh, she is very platinum blonde hair, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but color is important, because guess what? Purple becomes a very important color in this film, because a new faction has joined the mix. They live out in the woods, the Forbidden Woods, which I don't know if we talked about that before in the last film, but people live out there, and they mostly seem to be teenagers. There's no adults. There's teenagers and children who happen to be werewolves. And they are well dressed. I mean, sure, they're just sort of ragged. Are they wearing leather? They're not covered in blood and feces and torn animal skins. They're, and then it's not like they actually physically fully transform into hairy beasts. This is not Werewolf by Night. It's they just their eyes glow, and they get longer nails maybe a little bit, and their teeth show, and they're just and they growl a lot. And of course, all conflicts between all three factions, whether it's the very pretty elite rich humans or the more down in the dumps zombies who are allowed to join in with the school. Well, now there's a third faction that lives out in the woods who have purple highlights in all their clothing and makeup, and they're indigenous people. That's what they're, because they were there before everybody else. But nobody knew about them, and they've kind of been shuffled off and forgotten about. And we do get a history lesson that is sort of animated at the very beginning. The artist seems like somebody I should recognize, but I can't think of it offhand. But they give an origin story that gives you an idea of where these werewolves might have come from. And yes, I'm not really spoiling anything on this because it's pretty obvious. They do their best to catch you up on the whole thing, and if you haven't seen the first zombie movie, I don't know why, unless you're doing my thing here, why you would skip just to number 2 and not watch number 1. It doesn't make sense. But and that's, by the way, that's the reason why we're watching 2 tonight rather than 3, because yesterday the randomizer picked Zombies 3, and I was like, no, these are fairly tied together. It's not like different summers of High School Musical or a kind of a different villain arc with Descendants. This seems to lead into each other, and I was correct, because by the end of this one, they very much drop the seed of Zombies 3. So instead of watching Zombies 3 today, I've chosen to watch Zombies 2, and tomorrow we'll be watching Zombies 3. So anyway, yeah, big song, big dancing. It's pretty well done, and the comedy is all right. There's a few moments I laughed despite myself. I don't try to go into these with pre-hate or like I'm going to just be dissatisfied with this whole thing. It's just how dare, there's a lot of things on here that I really don't want to watch on Disney Plus, and Disney should be okay with that, because again, a lot of the stuff it covers all a wide range of interests, and not everything is for everyone. I've seen enough shark and zombie and musical teen romps, and I've seen enough of those things, but there's still a ton out there. Oh, by the way, this quarter, I'll reboot everything in January. December added a lot of documentaries. Just so you're aware. I'm just warning you now. Anyway, it has some fun humor. Nothing that's gonna make you just die laughing, unless you are 8, maybe. But you're gonna watch this for the singing and dancing, not for the logistical plot, and really you're not gonna watch it for the think piece on about how society separates us by it's not going to be that. But for a lot of kids, this could be their first introduction to thinking about such things as to why we treat people who are different from us as separate people, as separate communities, and why can't we treat each other equally and with kindness rather than hating and misunderstanding them for whatever reason. And which we still as adults can't figure that out ourselves, because we probably didn't have movies like Zombies to watch. No, we had a lot of stuff to watch growing up. We had a lot to grow up, and we chose to ignore these things. I guess that's why movies like this are not so subtle. So I don't know, but either way, it's a good fun time. I can't say I'm ever going to watch it again. It's, again, not for me, but regardless, I'm watching Zombies 3 tomorrow, and I have a feeling there's going to be a Zombies 4 at some point, possibly. I'll find out by the end of tomorrow night's watch, because they'll probably drop a hint as to what happens next, because there's always a little end of movie thing now, I noticed. So, yeah. Oh, and it's going to be aliens. Just so you know, if you didn't already know, if you look at even the title card for this thing on Disney Plus, it's aliens. Yeah. Will Addison find out more about where she came from finally? Who she really is? This is a search for identity too. So yeah, it kind of also can help a lot of kids to understand that just figure out who they are. Ask those questions and search it out, and not be ashamed of what you find. Unless you're like a serial killer, then, seek some help. Don't kill anybody. Just saying. All right. I think I've talked enough about this. So tomorrow, Zombies 3 on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here with that.